Hello everyone, welcome to Prison Architect. This is for release update 4, the fourth update after the game has been officially released. And they've added a few new things in. I just wanted to kind of quickly show you guys. The first one, if you go to the extras menu, you can look up on the Steam Workshop popular prisons to download and play. You can go from 1 day up to all time. 1 week, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. So you can see what's popular for that certain time frame, and then you just download them and play them right away, which is pretty cool. The other thing is, if you go back to, if I can find it again, to the extras. Oh, I'm in the extras, never mind. There are pre-made prisons you can do. So if you don't have this on Steam, or if you just want to try something else, they do come with a few pre-made ones as well. So that's one of the things they added. Another thing they added was the quick build. So instead of having just clone, they now have pre-made stuff for cells, a solitary cell, which is basically just a toilet and a heavy door, luxury cells, offices, which I think that's really nice, and shared cells. So I think it'll be a lot easier to make a cell block, especially starting out, when you don't really have anything to base your prison off of. You have nothing to clone yet. So that's kind of a neat little thing. We'll do medium. Another thing they added is, if you go to logistics, is temperature. So as you can see, 64 Fahrenheit, 18 C. So now things give off heat, like the power stations give off a good amount of heat. Water pumps give off a decent amount of heat. The natural environment gives off heat. As you can see, it's 66. It's basically, without any heat source, everything's 66. If you go to the prisoner's needs tab on the reports here, they do have, I don't think it's on here yet. Oh, they do, warmth. So all of your old prisoners, if you're loading up an old prison, won't have that need, but when you bring in new prisoners, they will have that. So that's kind of a nice thing. You won't have to completely start over with your prison to have that heat working out. So if you go back, the kitchen makes quite a lot of heat. As you can see, it's up to 93 Fahrenheit, 95, 36 C. If prisoners are in here too long, they do complain and riot that they're pretty much in a swamp and it's terrible. I don't think at the moment there's any way to cool them down, but there is a way to keep them warm. And if you go to objects, there is a radiator you can put in. You can rotate it, what have you. And that will help heat things up. And I think we'll wait for it to get night before we see an effect on it. But I do think, one little radiator will heat up a pretty good sized room. So you shouldn't need a whole ton of them to keep your prisons warm, because they will, I think, complain too, once they get too cold. And also what will happen is heat will bleed from one room to another. So as it was very hot in here, it's kind of bleeding into the canteen from the kitchen. Also, when it gets colder from the outside going in. So as you can see, the outside here is kind of colder than the hallway here. So it will slowly cool down from the outside to the middle. And we had a tunnel. Look at that. And these radiators are helping out. They do take a little bit of time to heat up, but it is starting to heat up that room. Same thing with the infirmary here. So that should keep them happy, because see, now it's getting cold. It's down to 53, 11 C. And now this is cooling down too, now that the kitchen is not being used. And these are staying at around 73, 66, 71. So those will stay about the same. But with that little radiator, that's keeping everybody pretty much warm. Maybe we could add one more. Or maybe do, one top, one bottom. Let's try it with this cell block. Objects, radiator. Put one there, I'll put one there. Let's put one in here too. So we'll see how well it heats up these rooms. It's down to 46 Fahrenheit 8C. That's getting pretty chilly. That's not too far from... Oh, we got some riots, do we? That's about... Yeah, we'll probably need 2 for a room like this. You can kind of see the range of it. I bet if that was in the middle of the room, that'd be a lot better. And now we got these 2 coming in, so it should slowly heat this middle. And you kind of see the different layers there of how the heating works. So it's pretty cold in these cells here, 44. It's getting really cold. But this is pretty consistent. Security's pretty warm. It's still kind of warm over there. So it looks like about 68 is what the radiators will get it up to, which isn't that bad. And it's slowly warm in the middle here. And because that radiator is more placed in the center there, I think it's doing a little bit better job. So why don't we do one more test? We can do a couple more actually. We'll do a radiator right dab in the middle, and we'll just do one. We'll do one in the middle right there too. We'll see how well that heats up. And of course, as it gets closer to the morning, closer to daytime coming up, it's going to heat up again. And see, it's up to 95. That is so hot. 33C. So the kitchen's going. I'm sure eventually there'll be a way to maybe cool that down, but that's for now. So that might be pretty good. And then once it spreads around, it should keep it. See, now the middle here is getting warm from having the 2 on the edge. So that should be pretty good. Whoops. Oh, everybody's waking up. That's why it's getting kind of choppy there for a minute. Same thing down there. That should start to heat up once it gets a chance to warm up and get going. So that's basically it for the new updates. Not a whole lot, but it's cool to kind of see the temperature effects and how the cold outside will bleed away first from the heat in the middle here. And it'll stay hotter in the middle once it cools down on the outside. So there's a lot of potential for the future. I'm sure they got some plans coming up, but yeah, that's it for this update. Kind of cool, and we'll see where it takes us in the future. So, thank you for watching. As always, I do hope you enjoyed, and I do hope to see you next time.